Abby, you want to tell us a little bit about that coffee?
Well, okay. So I don't know if y'all have seen some of the news and rumors out there about Black Rifle Coffee Company, your favorite, maybe not so favorite, veteran owned,
They're veteran founded now, according
veteran
to the new.
founded,
Yeah, they're not veteran
publicly
owned
traded.
anymore. Yeah.
You know, that company that the only thing they had going for them, because the coffee's not that good, the only thing they had going for them was that they were conservative and they liked guns. And then they just threw Kyle Rittenhouse under the bus. And now some of their documents have been leaked such that it's clear that some employees donated money to the Democrats.
Yeah, like
So-
a lot
Wasn't the
of
president quoted as saying like he called people MAGA chuds and said he didn't want Trump voters buying his coffee?
Yeah, like that's
We've
your whole
known
base,
this about
dude.
them.
Why?
Well, we've known this the same way that we've known about Dan Crenshaw, but there's a lot of people who don't, and that's the whole thing. Is like Dan Crenshaw, people have this view of him from SNL, and then Black Rifle Coffee, people have this view of them from some funny Instagram videos they did like 5 years ago, where they pretended to be all about guns. They maybe don't know about the fact that the one time their whole brand was built around the Second Amendment, the one time they could have stood up for someone who actually successfully used the Second Amendment to defend themselves. They threw him under the bus. They dropped people who were, they dropped Elijah Schaffer specifically because of that. And yeah, MAGA chuds, donations to the Democratic Party. Like, how much money was it to Act Blue that they donated?
Can't be sure.
It was several different
was a
employees
lot.
donating
Yeah.
different amounts. Yeah.
But I would argue that Donald Trump Jr. is not necessarily shilling. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, he's taking a bad position trying to defend them, but shilling them would be like advertising BRCC as if there was no problem at all and completely ignoring the drama. He's taking it head on.
Yeah, so he says in this tweet, Donald Trump Jr. kind of comes out. He says, seeing tweets attacking Black Rifle Coffee because a handful of their 1,000 employees donated to Dems. Hypocrites are tweeting from iPhones while 90% of Apple donations go to Dems. BRC is conservative success story. They do more for vets than anybody. Stop the friendly fire. I don't agree that they're like that's. I think that's I don't agree that they're a conservative company. I don't think they've ever been conservative in their beliefs. I think that word actually has to mean something, and it really bothers me every time that conservative is used to mean anybody who's to the right of Bernie Sanders is conservative now. It's just they've never actually been conservative. I don't think they would have ever called themselves conservative. You could say they were.
Well, they did. They just lied.
Did they call themselves conservative?
I think it was just sort of implied by
pitched
shooting guns
as-
and blowing things up.
Black Rifle
implied,
Coffee Company. We blow shit up. We're cool because we have lots of guys doing fast things. Action, action, action. One shot in the, everything gets done in one shot for the commercial. It was very conservative.
I would argue that it's not very conservative to have a bunch of prostitutes dancing around in every single one of your videos. That's my
that
point.
came later.
That was pretty early on.
Or for the married founder to be hitting on Nicole Arbor in the text she exposed a couple years ago. Anyways, so speaking of coffee companies owned by veterans that are conservative that we might want to actually give our dollars to, that actually make good coffee that's roasted to order, North Arrow Coffee Company is in the chat and is a wonderful supporter of what we do here, and we like to give back. Rob over there sent PJ and I both some of the new Christmas blends. So I'm into the candy cane, which I didn't think I was going to like because I don't even like mint, but it's so
good, though.
subtle. It's really good. And then the Christmas blend, which I'm not into yet, but I'm sure it's going to be just as good. Everything that they make is so good. 15% of all proceeds go toward saving babies. That this is a pro-life coffee company. Money goes to help to crisis pregnancy centers, and it's just all around. They have their beliefs, they act on their beliefs. The founders have not taken paychecks to date, but money is already going to help save babies. So I could not recommend the coffee more highly.
Yeah. Actual conservative coffee company. Yeah. What was that? Did you say PJ 10 for 10% off? I think is what she said.
There's two codes you can use. You can use code Abby 10 or code PJ 10. Both will work to give you 10% off. If you like me, use mine.
But if you're a good human being, you use mine. Yeah. We know how it goes. Yeah, no, for real though. Like this is, I actually like that there's an alternative out there, because I was kind of like, I've always kind of had my same beliefs about Black Rifle. I was like, okay, they're pro-veteran. I wouldn't call them conservative, but it was really the Kyle Rittenhouse thing for me. I was like, your whole brand, like if there's one thing you're going to do as a coffee company who's made their entire brand around guns, maybe it would be defending the person who actually utilized the Second Amendment. Talking about our story earlier with Antifa, though, isn't it interesting how Kyle Rittenhouse can just like quote unquote indiscriminately fire into a group of Antifa and hit a pedophile? Like talking about how pervasive that is amongst them. So
wait, didn't he hit two?
He hit a woman beater and a pedophile, and the other one was maybe it was two. Maybe it was two.
You could randomly fire into a jail and hit better people.
Facts.
True. Yeah. Thank you so much for checking out this clip from the Last American Pubcast, the only podcast where everybody knows your name. And hey, while you're here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and join us on a Saturday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, you might get stuck with the tab.